All right. All right. We are here. We are here. It's the moment. This is the beginning of a long journey with us. This is Galactic Highways Podcast. I am Anthony.
And I'm Emily.
Shablam. So, as you've noticed, we're in a green screen.
That we are.
We are in some Iceland? Yeah.
Volcano?
Yeah.
That's
what is
the
the name of the
volcano that erupted when I was in France.
Really?
And I got stuck in France.
So what happened?
A volcano erupted in like 2010, and there was so much smoke. It covered all of Europe, and they grounded all the flights for like 2 weeks.
Damn.
Spain, France, Germany, Portugal, like the whole entire countries, because there was that much smoke.
Is it similar to when it's smoky in Cali? Like when there's fires,
Yeah.
or is it like a thicker?
No, it was kind of like that. It was just overcast, but I guess there was no visibility. They couldn't take off.
Damn.
Yeah, so
That's
I
crazy.
got stuck in France for 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's pretty intense, dude.
So here we are.
Here we are, chilling inside of the crater. If it's not a crater right now, it's a lava flow. And we chose this because essentially what we're going to do with our podcast is we're going to be traveling the universe, the dimensions of this fucking cosmos. We're starting off in a volcano. Maybe next time we'll be in a galaxy.
Maybe.
I don't know. Kind of like the Magic School Bus.
Magic School Bus.
Similar.
No trademarks.
Not the same.
No trademarks.
Because we're using the eagle. The Magic Eagle.
It's kind of like dragon tails too, because they put their hand on the dragon tail.
Put our hand on the eagle.
Oh, on the carnelian.
Shaboom.
We're in Iceland.
Oh!
Should have brought a jacket.
Should have brought a fucking jacket. But hey, it's hot.
Yeah, we're at a good thing
we're
that we're
in-
at a volcano.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing here? I don't know. We're just going to be talking bullshit about random things about our lives, about the podcast, about theories, possibly.
About the business, about us, about
how
traveling.
the crystal industry basically works, essentially,
yeah,
right?
in the world.
Yeah.
Hence, again, the traveling.
The traveling.
Our traveling little eagle.
A little companion.
He eats flowers.
His name is Baldy.
Mm.
Baldy the eagle.
He's actually from Indonesia.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for another episode, or possibly we talk about that.
So, how do we start this? I guess that's been the question that everyone's asked us. You received a lot of messages on Instagram from different people. How do we meet? How do we start this business? Who were we before we started our crystal business and working in this industry? I guess we can start with you.
With me?
Yeah.
What I did before?
What did you do before we did all this?
Well, I moved to LA in like 5 years ago, and I worked in retail. What?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
We're gonna have to cut that out.
You have to cut it out.
Yeah, we do.
No, there will be no cutting.
There
There will be
There
no
will
cutting.
be.
Just continue.
There will be. I moved to Los Angeles, and I worked in real estate, and then that real estate morphed into property management.
Yeah.
And so I managed the building that I lived in, and then I met Anthony, and then we lived there, lived in LA for a couple years, and then basically, Anthony got me into this, and it was his idea to start a business.
It was his idea.
To start a business.
Yeah, I guess essentially it was.
And we were successful, so I left my job and started doing this full time, and here we are a couple years later after that, and doing it.
We're living the life.
Doing it all day, every day. Sourcing, selling, shipping, all the good S's. And then we added a P, podcast.
Yeah, Emily's being very shy right now, camera shy.
I'm
She
not
doesn't really know what to
being
say.
shy.
So Emily
I said you go first,
and
then you were like, you start.
you start. But
I asked
the reason
you to go
the reason
first.
why I'm saying that is because you actually ran a branch of Evie Volkers, right? Angle Volkers, whatever it is.
Angle Volkers, yeah.
Angle Volkers. And that wasn't even your company, but you were running a company for a family member, let's just say.
Yeah.
And you took on a lot of responsibility doing all that work. And I'm going to tell you, that's translated to this.
Yeah.
Emily
I was
has
the
translated.
operations manager for a real estate office of like maybe 20 agents, if that.
In West Hollywood.
And then, like I said, it morphed into property management where we managed like 20 buildings, like 1,000+ units in Los Angeles. So yeah, doing that during COVID, nonetheless, with all the rent control and rent freezes and landlord and tenant disputes and all of that. So yeah, I was like,
drama, so much drama.
I was in the thick of the Los Angeles housing market when
it was
everything
crashing.
was going down.
And she became enemy number one for all the tenants for no reason.
Yeah.
As I did, majority of the property management companies became number one enemy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Emily was able to move out of that and move into working with this business and basically running the damn business on a logistics side.
Yeah.
So
yeah, all the operations, shipping, invoicing, Instagram.
All communication that you guys have comes from Emily.
Yeah. So don't ever worry or wonder. You never have to ask, is this Emily or Anthony in the DMs? Because it's me.
It's Emily.
It's always me.
I have a miraculous gift of getting us blocked on Instagram. I'm very controversial, apparently. I don't know why, but yeah, every time I go on a social media platform, our stuff gets shut down. So figured it's best if Emily just handles everything, and it works out well that way. But yeah, so basically I got into this. I was working a fucking 9-to-5 job. I was doing eCapital, which is essentially just factoring loans and stuff like that, working in that industry. From there, I moved out to LA, and I was actually starting a music career. What did you guys know?
Yeah, fun fact for those of you who don't know.
I make rap and hip hop music and I didn't really say R&B, but I wanted to because we all want to sing.
Oh god.
But I'm not really that great of a singer, so I had to use my talents with my words. And as I was working out, I actually had met Emily, and we started dating. Well, when that happened, we took a trip for Thanksgiving to Big Bear with my mom and did a whole thing up there.
That was like a month into us dating.
Yes. So I started, and before this, to give background, I've been working with metaphysical stuff my whole life. Been working with spirit, God, all of that my whole life. Yeah. But I had never worked with crystal energy. Never come across working with crystals other than quartz. And that's, my grandma was teaching me how to use quartz as a kid, but it wasn't like the way we use crystals now. So we got into it. We went to Big Bear and we went to a crystal shop there. There was this lady who was selling magic wands. And I was like, bull fucking shit, dude. This is not an actual magic wand. And she was very adamant. She was like, yes, this is magic. You can do whatever you want. And she was kind of like, just like testing me, seriously.
Yeah, trying to sell it.
She was just being spicy. And I was like, well, if this doesn't work, this isn't a wand, it doesn't move anything, I'm going to bring it back and return it.
Tomorrow.
So I had bought actually 2 wands. I bought a tiger's eye wand and a rose quartz wand and then a piece of peacock ore. And we had an Om reader at the house, so we linked it up to the Om reader. It was reading off. The
peacock ore literally was like, all like crazy.
There was reading an electromagnetic field off of it. So because of that, I noticed whenever I pointed the crystal into certain areas, like if I were to point it into my palm, I could feel the energy of that wand beating into my freaking palm.
Yeah.
So from that point on, we ended up working with crystals.
Well, yeah, no, literally. So then the next day, went back and we're like, holy shit, it works.
Yeah.
There was another crystal shop in Big Bear. Went there, bought more crystals, and then that was like basically the snowball
essentially where it happened.
Effect.
I got obsessed with that energy. What is this energy that is coming out of these crystals? My brother, obviously being a nuclear engineer, was fucking interested as well. He was there with us whenever we were making this discovery.
Yeah.
It was actually him and I and Emily, and then my mom's old friend. And I love you, Mom.
Oh my God.
But that guy, he introduced us to this crazy ass world of crystals, unintentionally actually. So we jumped into it. I started studying that energy. The energy is
you
called.
freaking went ham. So
I
I was
dived
still
into it.
working full time at this point. Anthony was like literally every waking moment, like studying, watching YouTube videos, meditating, like looking at crystal properties, like literally if you asked him what he was doing, it was like one of those things.
Yeah, it was 24/7.
Was not
it was
like
24/7.
not watching TV,
Nothing.
not
I was
listening
just
to music,
sitting.
like
Yeah.
really. I would come home from work and I'd be like, "What's up?" And you'd be like, "Dude, I did a meditation for like
Did a
4 hours."
meditation for
I'm
4
like,
hours.
"What? Oh my god."
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta go to work, but like I'm bringing my journal with me, like so I can write down my notes. I'm like, shit, okay, dude, like you got this.
I was on some different levels. So what I became obsessed with is what it's called is orgone energy, and this energy is existent through fucking everything. It's existent through everything. But what emits orgone energy better than humans? Well, not better than humans. Humans do it the best.
Yeah.
But just as well, crystals. This crystal right here emits a field that we call electromagnetic field. We use the layman's term of aura. This thing has a strong ass aura, and you can tap into that energy. You can tap to it easily.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways, dude. And there are people who have studied this with PhDs actually, and they've looked into tapping into orgone energy to heal different things, different ailments and stuff like that. Mainly you get nowadays with arthritis and stuff like that, with bone aches and stuff like that, you'll use copper. That is one of the effects of
copper.
Working with orgone energy is working with copper.
Yeah, copper, crystals, definitely.
Yeah. It's copper, tin, and brass is a very specific combination. I think it's like a trimurti that they use in India to tap into, in Tibet as well, to tap into this energy. Little Rosa Maria is like
our director.
The little director pup is trying to get into this. But,
trying to get in the shot.
and you'll be surprised, this dog actually fucking loves crystals.
Oh my gosh, our dogs love crystals. I mean, I think most pets do. But Rose and Moon are obsessed with amethyst. And some of you guys have seen Rose with her amethyst. She had a little amethyst portal. Look at her. She's like trying to get the carnelian.
She's trying to smell the carnelian and get its energy.
But yeah, Rose loves amethyst for sure. It's her favorite. She actually had an amethyst necklace for a while too, but eventually it broke.
Yeah. So
she used to be the crystal room manager.
She was the crystal room manager before we got a backyard. Once we got the backyard, she's a lizard manager now. She watches the babes, the little lizards climbing on a tree and stuff like that.
She's the manager of the backyard now. And Moon is the new crystal room manager, but only because the window looks into the front yard, which she has to keep an eye on.
She has to keep an eye on. All right, Elsa, let's get you out.
She's like,
thank you for joining us on the podcast, though.
Bye, Rose. Our first guest.
Bye, first guest. So, I guess what we should get into after this is the crystal industry. Like, before we moved here, we were known as Magic Weed Palo Santo, and that was the initial name of our company. I was working for multiple different companies in LA, basically trying to figure out how to create a strong crystal business and how to work with people in this industry. I went from a heavy sales background. I was working in finance, you know what I'm saying? And those people are completely different from metaphysical individuals.
Yeah.
So, if you aren't finance and you're metaphysical, then you're an anomaly, is what I'm trying to say. It's not common.
Totally, yeah. Well, retail is its own freaking beast, too.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I worked in retail at a store in the mall for like 4 or 5 years, and yeah, that was a whole thing, too. They were like, "You want to climb the corporate ladder with us?" And I was like, "No." Nope. I just want to like do the sales floor and then leave. Like, I'm good with that. And they're like, "But you have so much potential. Like, you could be a manager here." And I was like, seriously. I don't want to be a manager here, though. Yeah. And I don't mean any offense to you, my manager. But, like, no, really. I don't even want to count my drawer at night.
I'm good.
I want to be, like, treat me as a high schooler. That's what I am.
Exactly. Well, that's... All right, so when I was in LA trying to look for a freaking job at... any crystal shop, the first place that I was able to get into was House of Intuition. And House of Intuition has a very specific energy. It's very fresh. When I say fresh, I mean green. I mean new. It's a very new beginner's mindset. And they
have a lot of tumbles and like
it's
oracle decks and basic candles and stuff.
Yeah.
It is like basic learning,
bare minimum
learning stuff
of the craft. And you'll find, reading material that is actually good reading material, but you'll find that not all the people who work there are necessarily educated in metaphysics and working with energy. Yeah. So, when I was in that crowd working at that company, as they employed me, I was able to tap into the community really quick because people were finally able to hear something from somebody who's educated on the topic. Yeah. For those who don't know, I used to freaking preach. I used to be a preacher. Yeah. And from that point, I went deep into esoteric studies for about 5 to 6 years, deep studying. I mean, into almost every world religion. When I was working there, I noticed that majority of the people who were there were only stuck on a Christian mindset, and they didn't have an understanding of other beliefs and other systems, which is fine. But it's hard for people who are getting into the craft, which we call witchcraft nowadays, or spirituality, however you want to label it. It's harder for those individuals when the people who are teaching it know nothing about it. So I really wanted to get a grasp on that.
Going to a store, you want to talk to an associate who can answer your questions.
Now I'm not sure who's there now or anything like that. Just back when I was there.
Yeah.
It was
a
fair minute ago. Yeah, a fair minute ago. So then from that point, I actually started working for Ryan and Christina at the Ore Shop. And Ryan Howard is a talented individual. This man is extremely well known in the mineral industry, and he was trained by the best in the game, and that's Rock Courier. Rock Courier was the man who basically started the Tucson Gem Show. He brought majority of African minerals from Africa, South Africa, and Indian minerals to America as well as Madagascar. This man is literally the fucking reason why prehnite is here.
Yeah.
Literally. Just very much literally.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of person that Rock is.
To export prehnite from India to America and clean it. The first person in the world to clean prehnite. They had just been getting these green nodules with dirt all over them, and they're like, ew, this is ugly. Yeah. And he was like, well, what if we clean the dirt off? Yeah. That might be pretty.
And I mean that's just that. I mean, that's not even talking about the mineral record, the magazines that he's published for mineralogy.
All the research that he's done. Yeah.
So that man trained the man who essentially taught me everything I know about crystals. And I was able to receive that education. It wasn't this carnelian is connected to the root chakra and therefore it's going to help me get past rocky times. No. I learned what makes up quartz, what makes up how does it become carnelian? Right. All these different things and the different properties and such like that. And I'm not talking about metaphysical properties. I'm talking about actual
scientific.
Yeah.
What quartz is, and then how, like you were saying, how does quartz become amethyst, become carnelian, jasper, chalcedony?
There's conclusions.
It's all the building blocks that make everything. But
and you learn I learned the practical use for all of these different things outside of the metaphysics, and then I was taught the metaphysics. I wasn't wowed by what this crystal will do. I'm wowed as how this crystal was actually created and what it took for this crystal to be found and to be brought to the process that it is here. And I fell in love with that process, and I learned that from Ryan. And man, I'm gonna tell you, there are not a lot of people out here who truly know minerals and who really know mineralogy and how to find them, what they do, any of that stuff. All they know is this is good for your solar plexus. Yeah. And that. And that is amazing. Most people don't even know where they come more from. Than that.
They just say, oh, it's amethyst.
But because there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into it. For one, the world has different vortexes, and these vortexes pull in different energies, dude. Like very much literally. If you go to Joshua Tree, that is a vortex. If you go to Mount Shasta, that is the root chakra of the world. These different places where different crystals and places are found have specific energies. Lemurian quartz. You can only find Lemurian quartzes in Minas Gerais, Brazil. You can't find Lemurian quartz anywhere else outside of that. But I talk to people and they don't know that. They're not educated on that. So it's not that really matters, honestly.
But it's just
and I'm not trying
facet
to get
of
onto
the
that energy.
industry.
Yeah, that's just another thing that you notice about this industry. I'm not trying to down anybody. It doesn't matter. Do you? You know what I'm saying? Be successful. I wish success on everybody, but also be educated. If you're going to teach people, because I do get a lot of questions from different customers, and sometimes the questions can be ridiculous because they were fed information from somebody else. And then now they feel kind of dumb. And I'm like, no, it's just misinformation, which is fine. We all have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Another thing that goes along with that is pricing for items. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They vary.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on who you know. Depends. The connections.
Yeah. Well, and the locale, too. That goes back to the locale. Like, if you get something that doesn't usually grow
like
in
diamantia quartz
spot,
is
then
expensive.
It's valuable. Or there's only a little, or it's been mined out, or the mine is closed. Like those are so many. Like that's already 5 different factors that go into its value, quite literally, because it makes it more rare. If there's only this one lot they were able to get out, and then the mine flooded, and it's going to be flooded for 5 years. It's like same with Indonesia. When Indonesia has an earthquake or a tsunami, you're not going to get grape agate. The entire island is underwater. Like, you can't get grape agate. So that really goes into it, and that's Anthony's specialty by far. He
is locale, knowing all that stuff, pricing, and I have to say, I think the prior knowledge was given to me, because there's a lot that goes into knowing your locale, knowing what people collect, what actual collectors are looking for, the quality and different stuff like that. Because honestly, I'm a collector. I started off collecting a lot of minerals, and I had to start to sell them, and essentially we are able to move into this energy. You know what I'm saying? What we wanted to do initially with our business, Magic Weed Palo Santo, was not even to create a crystal shop. It was to create a metaphysical community, so where we can share each other's knowledge, the ways we were taught, all these different things without judgment.
Yeah.
A place where people can to have a non-biased opinion. Mm-hmm.
A true community of sharing knowledge and learning from each other and growing. Yeah.
And we figured one of the easiest ways to work within this community is to incorporate crystal healing into this, because right now we're at the forefront of this new movement. We call it a new religion if you want to, but what it is, we're putting our beliefs into these crystals, into these rocks. And with that, I want you guys to know, majority of these properties were made up by people who are meditating with these crystals.
Yeah.
And we're pulling in their own anecdotal evidence of the things that they experienced when they were working with this carnelian. Somebody sat with this and became super creative.
Yeah.
On a whole other level. And motivated.
Revitalized.
Does that mean that works like that for everybody? No, it doesn't. That's a fact. I want you to know that. If you decide it works for you, it will. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. This is called the placebo effect. We take aspirin. We take Advil. You know that a lot of the aspirin and Advil on the market is placebo. They're sugar pills. You take it anyways, and you feel great because you think it's reducing pain and swelling. This is a fact. It lets you know something deeper about this reality that nobody wants to speak about. We are one with God. We are creators in this freaking universe. We create children. We create this reality around us. We have that ability to manipulate our own psychology, our own minds, to really be positive. And this is what we call nowadays what? Manifestation. Is it not?
There you go.
manifest your reality. If you think a damn pen is going to clear your mental block, then it will. It will.
Yeah.
And that's something that people don't talk about at all. They ignore this and they want to pretend like that's not a reality.
Yeah.
But we know the people who essentially created this industry. And we know the people who wrote these books. And we know the truth. And that's for you to find out. But to be real with you guys, because I never want to promote mental illness. Okay?
Yeah.
If you have an actual medical issue, please see a doctor for help. Seek actual professional help. There are people who dedicate their lives to figuring out these problems. Crystals are amazing for energy work and for meditation.
Yeah, it's a tool.
It's a tool.
Not a cure.
It's not a cure. And I want people to understand that. Because I see children on TikTok blaming Moldavite for their car crashes.
Yeah.
And blaming Moldavite for the reason why their boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with them and why they're failing school and all that stuff. And it's, well, maybe you had low character in that moment. Maybe you didn't study. Maybe you're not a good driver. Maybe it has nothing to do with this Tektite that you had purchased from a shop. So
it's also a thing of giving too much power to a rock.
Yes.
Like, quite literally.
This thing is quite amazing without the metaphysical properties assigned to them. Mm-hmm. And what I'm very much describing to you right now is if you decided that this crystal was going to be at a higher vibrational frequency than that of Moldavite, it would be so. It would be so. If you decided that Moldavite would be more powerful, it would be so. If you didn't believe in the crystals, it would be so.
Yeah.
That's all that it is. It's in your head. I think that's what's beautiful about this is that with knowing of this, you can take your meditations, your work, your spiritual journey to the next level because you can take any object and work with it on that spiritual level. And what you're essentially doing is you're tapping into what people call the mana or the chi of any inanimate object.
Right.
And you can do that because we are all made up of what? Atoms. Atoms. And if this eagle is atoms and I'm atoms, well, what's the separation between me and this eagle?
Nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. So isn't that crazy?
We're just gonna blob together one big atom.
Yeah. Wait, shit, dude. You zoom out of planet Earth, we just look like Earth. You're not seeing a bunch of humans. You're not seeing all that. You're just seeing Earth.
Yeah.
You know? So if you want to break it down to a layman's understanding, it's simple. We're all the same damn thing.
It's true.
And it makes us powerful. So I guess that's an easy way to...
Same but different.
Same but different, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's an easy way to end the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we got philosophical a little right there, right?
Ooh.
But yeah, join us for the next one.
Yeah. If you listened to this, let us know. If
let
you
us
made
know.
it to this point, send us or comment or we should do something specific so we know that they made it to this point. Like drop an eagle.
Drop an eagle
emoji.
Shout out Baldy.
If you
actually, you know what? No, we're gonna make a fucking a poll right now. Do you like Baldy or Goldie?
Baldy. Baldy is like feminine, I think.
Yeah.
Is it a girl
Who
or a
said
boy?
that an eagle could be?
Is it a girl or a boy?
That's what we're trying to determine right now.
Oh.
Baldy or Goldie? Let us know. Also, we are going to be doing talking about conspiracy theories, aliens, crazy shit.
Yeah.
Anything and everything. It might not be our opinion, but we will discuss it.
Yeah.
We will discuss it.
We have a list of topics that people have asked us to talk about for a while, so we're gonna try to tackle that.
Metaphysical stuff, crystals, conspiracy,
Astral travel, past lives,
all of that
yeah.
good stuff is going to be the meat and potatoes of this podcast. There is no reason to talk about politics, to talk about any of that other bullshit that we're concerning ourselves with 24/7.
Yeah,
This
we,
is a
we
free
would
your
never
mind.
talk about that stuff though.
It's a free your mind.
Anthony and I don't concern ourselves with that
I
stuff.
don't concern myself with idiots.
we
I don't.
we just do crystals, and that's really it.
That's really it, man.
And small businesses.
Yeah.
We love supporting small businesses, so that's what we do when we're not sourcing crystals. We're at markets and local events, meeting other small business owners and basically networking. So that's us in a nutshell, and a little bit of a small background on the mineral industry. We had our first guest, Rose. We have our second guest, Red.
Bobby,
and
the red bone Bobby. He's a little babushka.
Let us know what you
Little
guys
baby
think, and thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
This is the Galactic Highways Podcast, episode 1.